Hi, read the recipe. When you start out cooking, it might seem like you're buying a lot of groceries. And that's because you probably are. But a lot of those ingredients aren't single use, so you don't have to buy those again and again each time they come up in a recipe. Think of buying restaurant food like renting a tux or dress, and buying groceries like building out your wardrobe. Unless you're so rich that you wear clothes once and then flush them down the toilet. In that case, go watch something else and call your plumber. I'm not just talking basics, I'm talking pre-basics. Welcome to Cooking 99. Ah! Some ingredients have stupidly similar sounding names. For a beginner, it's not important to know the difference between ingredients like all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour, or baking powder and baking soda. It's only important to know that there is a difference and they're not exactly interchangeable. So, make sure you're buying and using the one that the recipe calls for. As you get better at cooking, you'll also start to realize what ingredients you are allowed to substitute and how to do it. Most ingredients can be separated into two categories: pantry ingredients and fresh ingredients. Pantry ingredients are the ones that stay good for long periods and usually don't have to be refrigerated. This can include things like, I tried to be relaxed and put my leg. This can include things like dried herbs and spices, oils and vinegars, grains and pastas, dried beans, canned foods, etc. These ingredients are often cheaper and nice to have on hand. I'll put a list in the description below of the pantry ingredients that I like to keep stocked, but you don't necessarily need to go out and buy those. As you do more cooking, your pantry will naturally grow, and then you can start choosing recipes based on what you have on hand. Eventually, you'll have enough random ingredients to make things like salad dressings without having to shop. And guess what? Homemade dressings are easy, better tasting, and generally healthier than a bottle from the store. Fresh ingredients, on the other hand, are ones you'll want to buy shortly before cooking. These ingredients are often best used as early as possible, but can still have a shelf life of a couple of days. Think vegetables, meats, fish, fresh herbs. In some cases, they can stay good for a week or two, like milk and eggs. Things like condiments and some cheeses can be good for more than a month. Some fresh ingredients will stay good longer in the fridge, and for some it's better to leave them out. If you're not sure, look it up. I'm a big baby, and I'm wearing my big boy pants. I'm a big baby, and I'm wearing my big boy pants. Some fresh ingredients can also be stored in your freezer for extended periods of time. Meats, fish, and butter are good examples. If you're not a huge fan of going to the store, grab an extra box of butter or more chicken than you need for tonight's recipe and toss it in the freezer. This way you can take the butter or chicken out of the freezer and put it in the fridge a night or two before you need it, and then you save yourself a trip to the store. Here's a tip. When you run out of an ingredient that you use frequently, add it to your grocery list immediately. This way you're not scrambling to figure out if you need more eggs right before you go to the store. That was a pun. I told you not to write any puns into it. I know I wrote them all. Yes, I know that. One note on buying ingredients: the cost of the ingredient actually does matter to an extent. Really cheap ingredients are cheap for a reason, and it's usually because they're low quality, they don't taste great, or because of poor ethics in how they secure or produce that ingredient. You're not going to get the best ingredient by spending the most money, though. Often the ingredients that cost the most are a little bit of a ripoff. You usually hit the sweet spot of bang for your buck somewhere in the middle. Takeaways. There are 3 takeaways from this video. 1, recipes are specific about ingredients for a reason. Try to use the exact one that is called for, especially when you're just starting out. 2, there isn't one set of ingredients that will work for every cook and every cuisine. But once you start cooking regularly, your pantry will stock itself with the ingredients that you like to use. And 3, most ingredients can be separated into 2 categories: pantry and fresh. Store them correctly to maximize their shelf life and limit waste. Okay, read the recipe. Bye.
Then you could start choosing recipes based on what you have on hand.
Videos on YouTube cheaping you? Cheap. Thanks for sticking around. I don't need you to subscribe or smash that like button, but I do want to answer any questions you have, so please stick them in the comments section. We'll respond to as many as we can. We also plan on doing a Q&A at some point, so if a question gets brought up enough, we'll also stick the answer in that video. Please comment away.